but I've worked really hard to get into the position I'm in, and now and it's a really difficult position that I've gotten myself into. But I've wanted. It's just the job. It's a very complicated and stressful job. But I'm just really unsure if I can. Well, I know I can do the job. It's just so stressful. I'm worried about the job.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah, yeah.
It's quite complicated and stressful. Are you worried about whether you can kind of continue it in the long term?
Definitely. Yeah. Um, I guess can I just get into some of the details because it's too abstract otherwise. Um,
That's fine with me.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever you want,
Okay.
whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's the very visibility of my job is part of its problem or stress around it. Um, and it's also kind of it. I think it lends itself to kind of this fantasy, this kind of fantastic idea of reality, and that's very confusing as well because it's like, no, this is real, but it sounds, because it's like theoretical or philosophical, it gets immediately kind of too big for its boots, or so abstract it's like hard to focus on or take seriously given the very real physical threats that we have going on. Yeah. But essentially, what's going on is I'm on welfare. I'm sole parent welfare, and I'm also a student studying at the local polytech, and yeah, it's a really amazing, incredible thing, really. And I feel very, very grateful to the New Zealand taxpayer, which I am one of, for the support and the opportunity, blah blah blah. But I'm what my work's about is that very point about democracy and welfare and being public and being a positive thing rather than this like punishment thing. And so it's just really stressful. It's like it's for me it's like an incredibly important point that needs to be made and is not made enough, but it's doing it in such a I mean, it's just a very volatile context, and it's just like it's a conundrum, like how can I not say and be proud and celebrate my democratic socialist existence, free from capitalism,
Yeah.
and celebrate that as an artist, as a type of job or type of role that is normally persecuted by a capitalist market system unless it obeys, unless it serves the dominant ideology. Do you do you follow me? Like, do you follow? Yeah. So here I am existing as something that's actually free from that tyranny, the capitalist tyranny, and actually thriving. I'm raising two children. I'm Hey guys. Hey guys, not in here for the moment, okay? Oh, you want to grab some stools? Yep, no, that's cool. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just on the phone. Yeah, so yeah, like for me, it's like really, it's taken me 30 years to even understand this situation, and I've made this artwork that asks, it's like two voting boxes, and it's made out of clear perspex, and it stands right now in the entranceway to the Pūkenga's Otago Art School, and so people come in the doors and then they see the sign saying, "Are you here to make art to support a capitalist or democratic society?" And then they have two voting booths. They can vote for democracy or capitalism. Yeah, so really full on.
Huge.
Yeah, it's huge, but it's like, it's a really beautiful work because it's just all transparent and clear and really simple and just quite elegant and just kind of very vulnerable. And I don't know, and the voting boxes themselves, well, there's like 4 phases. There's going to be 3 different types of voting material. 1 a week. First one's a piece of paper. The second one's going to be a lolly. Third one's going to be a wet one. Yeah, and then I'm going to collect them all up and put them turn the voting boxes into display cases they're the exact shape and ratio of the Twin Towers. And then I've got this whole poster campaign that is connecting the Twin Towers, the Patriot Act, which was brought in after the Twin Towers, anthrax, which was used to bring in the Patriot Act, biological weapon development, COVID, vaccines, like all the everything, all the cancelled culture, all the conspiracy. And it's a quote from the latest presidential runnery, this guy, Robert Kennedy, the new Kennedy guy that's running for president. So it's very topical, very loaded, and I'm just like, I can't believe I've done all the work. It's been all designed. It's all ready to go. The press releases. There's going to be everything's it's prepared. But I'm just like, now I'm like sitting here holding the button, and I'm going, am I really going to do this?
Yeah, the reluctance before something big's gonna happen.
Yeah. Or because equally nothing could happen. It's like I'm having to be prepared because it's a loaded situation, but the most powerful response that I've gotten from the mainstream, I guess, or from my own community, the arts community, is actually silence. I've been hard out censored for the last 10 years. They won't show my work. They won't. I've got a few champions that have pushed through that wall of censorship. And I don't really expect it to be any different. I mean, I knew this was the kind of the role that an artist like me would face and play. I'm just like, it's all such a game. It's all so theoretical. Like, where's the human? Where do I actually fit in all this as a feeling person?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's all quite philosophical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even like art itself, the philosophy in that is really crazy. Yeah, that's already complex. I can totally get why you said it. Very complicated and stressful in a way. You do.
Well, that's nice. That's actually really nice to hear, because even that kind of validates that it's not just in my head. Because it seems really complicated to me as well.
I think it was censored and your work has been censored. It's almost like you as a person being denied.
Yeah. Well, this is the first time in 10 years that I'm risking kind of doing something like this work that I did 10 years ago, where I was actually public about being on welfare and not being ashamed of it and trying to make it a positive experience. And I became nationally known and I was a target. And but it was also a positive experience in that as an artist I became kind of nationally, internationally known. But then I tried to do a show at a public gallery, and Work and Income New Zealand called that gallery and intimidated them, and they cancelled the show. That was 10 years ago. And even though I complained about it and made an official complaint to the Museums Association and told my peers about it, I was the one who was blamed for the whole thing. Because I'm the radical artist, so I must have done something wrong, and I didn't. I worked for 9 months on that show. It's incredibly painful when it just got suddenly. I was given no reason, and they wouldn't even publish publicly a reason. Which normally, technically, they're supposed to say, to make sure there's no blame left, but they purposely didn't do that. So,
Not being transparent.
yeah, not being transparent at all, and knowing that lack of transparency will hurt someone, and it hurt me badly. I haven't had a show in a decade. So this is like a big deal. I'm like going, okay, you've shut me out, but I still exist, and I have to articulate that existence. Otherwise, I will actually accept that I don't exist, and I know I'm a conundrum. I know I'm like a problem on many fronts. However, I can actually articulate that reality quite well, and I feel like you can listen to it or not listen to it. But if you do listen to it, it should be at least interesting.
And that just really makes me think of art. Art is like a form of expression, and like the good thing about art is you can express whatever you want.
Yeah.
Be free.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Yeah.
Like, kind of censoring it out and restricting it kind of defeats the purpose of art
Yeah.
itself, and that's quite ironic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it absolutely sucks. Like, I would have been devastated, to have my work completely shut down like that for 9 months.
Yeah, and it was right at the point where I just had a child, and I was actually at the same time studying full time to leave art. So I was being split in half. Like I was like, okay, this is my last chance to do an art thing, or I'm trying to leave the art stuff and actually go into a different career. And I spent the whole year being torn in half, doing these two different directions, and then they just went, well, actually, we were just messing with you. We're just gonna. Oh yeah, it hurt. It hurt for a long time afterwards. For years and years afterwards, I fought them to try and clear my name, and it just got worse and worse. And I had to let it go just for my own mental health, which didn't help. 3 years ago I came out of a 30-year depression over this and other things that were all connected. So that's why I'm talking to you, because I now know how important my emotional connection to all of this is. Because in the past, when I did this kind of intellectual art, I just was maybe so scared, but I also was just so prepared to be hurt. I just went into my head and just focused on the arguments, and for like 30 years I got worse and worse and worse, until I became a zombie, and I was probably on the way to death. Like I had no joy in my life. I could not make myself happy in any way. Even my kids I was just like acting around them. But that changed 3 years ago when I finally found some boundaries and got my narcissistic parents out of my life. And I recovered, like, all of a sudden, even though I'd spent 30 years in therapy and in group therapy trying to figure out what was wrong with me. None of that helped in the end. It was only when I got the poison out of my life, I recovered. And now I'm like all about, wow, I actually matter. How I feel right now actually is a really important part of the equation. And I'm just trying to feel, and it's like, it's not too much, but it's a lot. I can't deny that. It's a lot, but I've asked for it, and I've also trained for it, and I understand it. but it's still overwhelming and scary and intimidating and like just too much. It's like too much. I wish I was like a team of like 20 people.
I can relate so much, but I guess like you'll probably relate now that like you're out of depression, but feeling something is better than like being numb and feeling nothing.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. It's gonna change how this goes, I think. Like, it went really well last time in terms of the effectiveness of the work, but I think this will go differently, and hopefully well as well, but just differently, because I'm going to be emotionally connected to this. So when they start throwing the shit as they do, it's gonna hurt me, but I'm gonna have strategies like this, talking and identifying how I'm feeling, and just mapping that terrain, and then letting it go, letting it keep moving. Then I think that's going to be, hopefully that's going to be part of the new story, is that I'm gonna try and tell the story, at least to myself, that this is a human being experiencing this, and not just a chess move on a chessboard, which it also is. It is a chess move, but it's also a human, trying to figure out how to survive this situation, this context.
And that is quite empowering. That is very empowering. And
What's empowering?
I think, it's kind of like, it sounds like to me you've gained that self-agency yourself, like you said, 30 years of therapy and all the help didn't work, but ultimately what helped you was kind of your actions and your determination. And I feel like this art is also quite similar, like
so true.
10 years ago you went through that, like you went through that hardship, but like you're here back again, and you're really trying to tell a story and connecting yourself to the work and just going through all this process and kind of owning it.
Yeah.
It's quite empowering.
Yeah.
And inspiring.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well that makes me feel like I'm sane, because that's what I need in my life. I need to inspire myself, let alone anyone else. I need that display. For me, it's magic when you believe in yourself, or when you can follow through on an idea. It's a kind of magic making. Yeah, and I need magic because my life is so terrifying and depressing. Oh God.
Very hard to navigate.
Yeah. So I think this is how I do it. I have to create this kind of this performance of believing in myself to wake up and smell the roses. Yeah. No, it feels real. Thank you. Wow, you're so you're such an incredibly intelligent and accurate and articulate listener. You're in the right job.
I appreciate it.
No, it's a joy. It really is. Like you always hope that people like you exist, and there you are.